have you found what the Sustainable Development Unit provides useful in your work?
Invaluable is the word that comes to mind. Not only do they provide me with the information upon which I can speak intelligently, but also they provide me with the support that someone such as myself is trying to pursue. They are, without question, some of the most enthusiastic individuals in this field that I've had chance to meet. And if I can only go part way to emulate their enthusiasm, I think I might be able to make a difference.
Can you give an example of how you've used their advice?
Well, I think we're thinking of my communications with Carl in terms of putting together descriptions of little ideas that I've had and how we've changed processes in order to take sustainability forward. And let me take for example, the recycling steel laryngoscope blades. This is a useful forum in which to use these as case discussions. In anaesthetic practice, we've moved almost completely to single-use items.
Because of the scare about BSE?
Because of of new variant CJD and the possibility that prions are attached to laryngoscope blades from tonsillar beds, and prions that can't be removed by the traditional sterilisation process. So these are our single-use items, and they're made of surgical steel. They each weigh about 100 grams, and we use around about 20,000 of these a year in this hospital. That comes out at about 2 tons.
And cost?
Cost, each individual item depends on the particular model, but they are of the order of £2.50 to £3.50 each. Mm-hmm. Oh, I think that's the cost of McGill's forceps. They're more expensive than that. They're £4 or so.
Right. So we're talking about the thick end of 100,000 a year
almost
being thrown away.
Being thrown away. Yes.
So what have you done about that?
Well, we put in place a process by which we can collect these separately from other forms of waste. We encourage our anaesthetic assistants in the operating room to just place these, not necessarily washed or decontaminated, into collection bins. And these are then emptied by the theatre sterilisation department. And at quieter moments, they're put through and decontaminated completely, and then sent for steel recycling. Now you may ask, why on earth do we go through the process of decontaminating them completely? Well, I think if we're trying to recycle steel, I think it behoves an organisation like this to minimise the risk to any other personnel, if that risk, no matter how small it is, exists.
Yes. So they're not being reused.
They're not being reused.
But you're reclaiming the valuable steel.
We are, yes.
And how much has that saved?
Well, we're now no longer having to throw those away in the clinical waste. They were finding themselves into clinical waste, which is, for us, is around about £500 a tonne. If it goes into the sharps waste, it's £720 a tonne, and some of them were put into the sharps waste. So we now get paid for the steel rather than having to get rid of it.
Right.
We've done some calculations looking at the cost of running the sterilisation process to decontaminate them, and actually even allowing for that, assuming that we get around about £1,000 a tonne for the steel, we're still making money.
Do you know, it reminds me of my father, who's long dead, but he was a dentist, and every few months or so he would take a pot of reclaimed amalgam and sell it because of the silver and mercury content. And it was a significant sum of money. So are we relearning thrifty habits from our ancestors?
I think we are. We need to have not less for more or more for less. We need less for less.
Yeah.
And I indeed have seen that activity in the cardiac catheter lab, where the electrophysiologists use incredibly expensive catheters for identifying cardiac rhythm disturbances and ablating those. And they are tipped with precious metals, and so those are snipped off and placed in pots and recycled.